Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Unfound Podcast Channel on YouTube. I am, of course, Unfound's host, Ed Densel. Before I get into this map and route analysis for the disappearance of Elisa Roberson, I remind you to subscribe to this channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please share it with others. And please consider hitting the join button below where you can get additional content other than on top of the podcast that comes out every Friday. This is an episode, by the way, anybody looking at this map and route analysis video somewhere way down the road, this is an episode that came out on August 9th of 2024. So here we have the red dot in the middle of the screen there that's marked is where Elisa and her family lived at the time. And I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. And the plan between Elisa and Debbie, her friend Debbie, is they were to meet. She was to go follow the arrow right here, go down here to this intersection, and then go up Goodnight Avenue. And the plan was to meet at this school. Now you'll see there are these schools catty corner, diagonal from each other, but they were supposed to meet in this general area. And if you remember in the episode, it was presented as factual information that Debbie and her family lived on the other side, somewhere over here and farther away from the school. So if Debbie left her house at the same time that Elisa left her house, Elisa would get to the school first. And so as we now know, Debbie showed up. Elisa wasn't there. The understanding is that Debbie actually started walking toward Elisa's house, which to me makes all the sense in the world. She's not there. You're just thinking, well, she just is on her way. Maybe she got a late start. You start walking this direction. And Debbie never did see her, of course. And Debbie seemingly walked the whole way down to this corner. And I'm going to come back to this corner in a moment. And then walked the whole way back home to say that she never met up with Elisa, and that's how this disappearance got started. Now, it probably is going to pop into your minds, well, if she went this far, why didn't she just go that bit farther to Elisa's house? I don't know. And some of you may be even suspicious of that. If you're going to be suspicious of that, fine by me. I'm just here to present this. But she went the whole way down here because, to remind you what happened, and I'll zoom this in again. Lisa came out, and the neighbors that she saw, the ones she talked to, live right here on the corner. Right here. Lived right there. And then they saw her walk that way, and Elisa was never seen again. Whereas Debbie, coming from the opposite direction, came down this way. Elisa's not here. Keeps walking down Goodnight. She also encounters those same neighbors. Now, it very well may be the reason, if we want to think about this, the reason Debbie turned around is because these neighbors said, oh, yeah, we saw Elisa, and she went back this way. So Debbie thought, oh, I missed her somehow. And Debbie goes back this direction. Makes all the sense in the world. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but that is something that I think that most people would do, most humans would do, children included. Oh, I missed my friend, turned around, and went back this way. However, there may be some other explanation. That's just the one that makes sense. However, as we know many, many times, we can't go by common sense in these things. It's just something that seems obvious, but maybe that's not exactly what happened. They were supposed to meet right here, and of course that did not happen. Now you may be wondering, well, this whole story about the ice cream. You remember later, Bob Green and Debbie came over to Elisa's house right here, and they had ice cream. Where's that ice cream place? Coincidentally, it's actually marked on this map for some reason. They went to the Dairy Queen right here. So they're way over here. They find out Elisa didn't meet up. Who knows what's going on? They went over here to get ice cream and then showed up at the Roberson house with ice cream. And you heard Ruby say, who was only 12 at the time, there was just something about it that seemed odd. And I know this is serious as disappearances get, of course. But it did occur to me, I have to admit, that it reminded me of that Seinfeld episode where Elaine finds out that her boyfriend, Jake Germain or whatever his name was, is in the hospital. He got hit by a car or something, and she's at the theater. She finds out that he's in the hospital, and instead of going directly to the hospital, she goes to the candy counter first, in which she get jujubes or whatever, beans or whatever they were, and then that comes out later when she goes to the hospital, and he can't. Well, I thought they told you that right when you got there. And she goes, yeah, they didn't. And when did you get the candy? And then she had to admit she got the candy after she was told he was in the hospital, which of course ticked him off. This is kind of like that. It shows, and of course it was expressed in the Seinfeld episode humorously. Of course, here it's as serious gets. It displays a kind of lack of caring, a lack of really being concerned about what is really going on. Done humorously in Seinfeld, but here in real life with Elisa's disappearance, it's certainly noteworthy and something to think about and could be very serious. So they're way over here. They go over here to this Dairy Queen, and then they go over to Elisa's house. Now, the dog scent, as you heard, did go this direction. You know how I feel about dogs. I don't know whether to believe them or not, but they went over here somewhere and seemingly went past the school, but did not go the whole way over to Debbie's house. But in the general, I would say what you would say in the general direction, going in that direction, I guess in the northeast direction that way. So it's not like they went in the opposite direction, like to the southwest or northeast or anything. The dogs did go in the general direction, but I really don't know if that means anything. So, and finally, you may be wondering, well, where was Bob Green working at the time? Well, Ruby did not know exactly where, but he had some sort of sheds or something, little pieces of property over here on Nelson Avenue somewhere along here. Right? And so essentially a block over from seemingly the route that Elisa would have been taking on Goodnight Avenue over here. So is it conceivable that he saw her? Sure. Is it conceivable that he drove past her? Sure. Is it possible that he caused Elisa's disappearance? Sure. Sure. And we know, and I've already posted the paperwork showing the kind of problems he had after Elisa went missing. But those couple of little pieces of property or whatever they were, did he own them? Was he renting them? I'm not sure. But they were over here on Nelson Avenue. So that is it. This is a disappearance in many ways, I think, reminds me of Jason Jolkowski. But I think, given what we think we know about Elisa's, it's a little more straightforward, I think, than Jason's. Even if you don't think that Bob Green did something to Elisa, it still gives a perception more straightforward than Jason's. There's a big difference between a 13-year-old girl walking to a school and going missing and a 19-year-old guy walking to go to a school to get a ride and going missing. Big differences. We say disappearances are about people, not circumstances. A perfect example of that. So thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Consider joining this channel. At least subscribe. And I'll talk to you again very soon.